Welcome back, tribe. We have a nutty article here talking about the dad bod is not inevitable, even if evolution helped to make it happen. So they think the dad bod is made by evolution and not the crappy food we're forced to eat, that corporations are feeding down our throats without taking 1 ounce of consideration in regards to our health. Okay, let's get into this ridiculous article by Washington Post. What if evolution led us to the dad bod, they're asking? In humans' evolutionary past, a drop in testosterone may have helped men adjust to and increase their involvement in their children's lives, says Lee Gettler, an anthropologist who studies science of men's changing bodies. But lower tests can also drive a softer, less toned, paunchier physique, aka dad bod. The biological traits that were beneficial in the environments as we lived in hundreds of thousands of years or millions of years ago are now mismatched to aspects of our current environment. This guy, by the way, is the director of hormones, health, and human behavior lab at the University of Notre Dame. I wonder what he looks like. Meaning that lower tests helped those early hunter-gatherers become better fathers, but at a time when life involved lots of physical activity and less abundant food. So basically things reversed. You took an animal that had to do a ton of physical activity and didn't have a lot of food, and they were shredded. Now you have the same animal, fast forward a couple thousand years, you have no physical activity and abundant food. Why are they getting soft dad bods? Must be evolution. The important thing to message to dads about this is that we just need to keep trying to work hard to do the best of our abilities to take care of our bodies. Go to the gym, boys and girls. This is for males specifically. Eat more red meat. Or sorry, I should preface this with, I'm not a doctor, a dietitian, nutritionist, WEF, NPC, lobbyist, or anybody else with ulterior motives for profit. Simply eat animal-based. If it comes from an animal, from the ground, or from a tree, you can eat it, okay? Whole vegetables, eat whole fruits, and whole meat. No sausages, hot dogs, minced meat mixed with peppers, all that stuff. Stick to just pure meat cuts or ground beef if you're looking for cheap alternatives. Chicken, turkey, sardines, be careful with the heavy metals of fish, and in general, fruits and vegetables. That's all you have to do, honestly. Get away from processed food. When you walk inside a grocery store, just stick to the meat, fruit, and veggies aisles, and that's it. The rest of the store is 95% bullshit that you don't need. It's all products that are being marketed. It's all chemical concoctions by nerds in labs. Half of it isn't even real food, and it's just designed to be addicting as possible. Loaded up with sugar and God knows what else that they have labeled under flavoring or whatever else loopholes they use to screw you over. And he says it's hard when you have to try to get enough sleep and you have to try to get enough exercise and you have to try to not finish the chicken nuggets on the kid's plate, even though you don't want to waste them at a restaurant. Why are you feeding your kid chicken nugget? Why are you making excuses because you don't have 60 minutes to just exercise? Hell, with high intensity, you could drop that down to 45, 30 minutes every day. Every single body has 30 freaking minutes. Getting enough sleep, that one I'll give to you. In college, I had 3 jobs and a full-time schedule, more than full-time. I had an extra 2 classes. I wasn't getting enough, so I didn't even have enough time to finish homework. My grades went from A to C, but it still has to be done. Research on men's bodies. In a study, Gettler and colleagues concluded that in the Philippines, we found that new dads with newborns have very substantial drops in their testosterone on average, which could reflect changes during pregnancy or immediately in the period after the babies are born. The men in the study were in their 20s and their tests went down 25% on average. That's a big biological meaningful change. Is it because the kids though? Or is it because you're getting less sleep because you have a baby? Is it from the stress? Your cortisol levels have spiked, having a kid, having a wife. Obviously that's stressed herself too. You're kind of walking on eggshells. I mean, there's a lot of things that go in here other than it's just because we had babies. I think that's complete bullshit. Honestly, we just squirt off 1 round and you're good to go. It's not like our bodies are going through 9 months of pregnancy and labor to pop a baby out. It's a complete joke. Far greater than what might be simply due to aging, he says, which might only drop test levels 10% per decade after the 30s. In a similar article published in Evolution, Medicine, and Public Health, Gettler used U.S. population data to show that American men who were partnered and living with children had substantially greater body fat, particularly around their waist, than single men not living with children. No shit. Because do you know what the single men are doing that don't live with children?
Nope.
Of course you don't know. What they're doing is they're going out, they're in the sexual marketplace, they're actively trying to attract women, they have to look good, they're competing with other men that are looking good. This is a result of being single and taking care of yourself because you want access to partners, to sex. This isn't a result of just simply having children. The problem is most of these men that are married with kids let themselves go the relationship way. You feel too comfortable with your partner, you lose your identity. A man with kids stops going to the gym as much, stops taking care of himself as much. He starts to just say, it's okay, I have to watch the kids. No, you can watch the kids and still work out. You can bring the kids to the workouts. You can be an active dad at home. It only takes some body weight exercises to stay stay fit. You just need to keep your calorie consumption and your expenditures at the appropriate levels, and you'll stay the same. You could do calisthenics at home. It's bullshit that you can't work out. Do push-ups with your toddler on your back. Rock your baby while you're doing curls or something. If there is a will, there is a way. And that's all you need to know. Is it easy? I'm not saying it's easy, but don't bullshit me saying that this is caused by evolution, because it isn't. It's the laziness of most people today. There's plenty of dads that are jacked that have stayed active, and children don't affect their physiques at all. The difference in body fat between the two groups, the dad bod phenomenon, was explained by their lower test levels. Jesus. Age-matched single men not living with babies or young children had higher tests on average. Studies have also shown that men's brains change with fatherhood. As for why those evolutionary ancestors saddle today's fathers with a steep hormonal drop, Gettler says it's about priority. Okay, so this is just extrapolating the drop. They're hypothesizing why we would need it, and they're going to say it's for child rearing and not abandoning the woman, and that's also complete bullshit. That's not why we have a test drop. They're just building up the expectation in your head that it's okay to be fat, it's okay to be weak father, it's okay to be a complete clown joke. Basically like all the family shows on American TV where the dad sits on his ass on the couch, is completely useless, bumbling fool. They're already prepping you. It's normal. After you have kids, I lose like half my test. After I have kids, I'm just going to be a fat fuck and have a straight tire for a belly. No, those are all choices. Man the fuck up. Take care of your body. It's absolutely paramount to be a good example for your family and lead, not to become a soft, pudgy piece of shit. And no, I'm not going to tell you it's okay on this channel, coddle your fucking balls. That's all society does these days, is just create and maintain weakness in men. And then he talks about the drop in test helping to shift priorities away from mating effort, away from competition, and more toward partnering with the mother to help raise demanding offspring. He says, wouldn't the higher test lead to you being more capable father? Wouldn't you fight for resources harder? Wouldn't you be more competitive to get more resources for you and your kind? I mean, that's exactly what test does. Why would you want a lower test, make a man less competitive, less of what he did to get the initial woman, and less effective in protecting his offspring? Doesn't sound right, does it? But humans have also evolved, he explains, such as fathers have the capacity to be involved in a range of ways that are costly in terms of time, energy, and resources. And here we go. We get into the real shit, not evolution. People often have less time to exercise as they start families and dive deeper into work, typically in their 30s. Corporate work culture. Zinger number 1. Generally, sometime around the age 30, a sedentary person starts to lose muscle. No shit, because they're sedentary. At about the rate of 0.5% a year is what they're losing. Says another dude, an expert in muscle psychology. Great, because we need an expert to tell us sedentary people start to lose muscle mass as they age. Oh, wow, dude, rocket science. And then he goes on to be quoted saying, that's usually in the dad bod age range. So certain parts will begin to sag, and any addition of extra body fat in the area only accentuates the effect. No shit, it's a sedentary person. If you're already sedentary, it means that you don't take care of your body anyways. It means that after injecting a bit more pressure into your life, such as a child, you'll completely fall apart. You were eating somewhat clean, but not exercising. Now you add a child into the equation, the stress and the pressure is going to completely break you. This is why it's important for men to be strong mentally, to have boundaries, to challenge themselves every day, to build a deep pool of discipline in their lives so that when you shoulder additional responsibilities in your life, like children, like family, like having a wife, you don't fall apart and become a fat turd with a beer gut. There's no excusing any of this shit. And then he says, I think it's important to shift the exercise narrative away from a focus on weight loss to a focus on health and well-being gain. Oh, they're both hand in hand. There's Shelley Keating. Of course, she doesn't want to focus on weight loss. Okay. She's an obesity researcher. Yes, because being fat is healthy. So more woke people getting quoted. For dads or anyone for that matter looking to make positive changes, it's important to understand that the most health benefits of exercise occur irrespective of weight change. That's also bullshit. There's a direct correlation between weight loss and overall health of somebody, and especially if you're fat. So think about this. Go look into the correlation between testosterone levels and obesity. It's damn near linear. So for every pound of fat you lose or gain will linearly affect your testosterone levels. The more fat you are, the less test you have, the more estrogen you're producing. So what you need to understand is their pool of subjects is so poor because they're getting sedentary human beings that already have low test levels because they're already somewhat overweight. And then they're trying to drive a correlation between having kids and being a weak-minded person already who doesn't work out and now has to shoulder an extra responsibility which your weak mind cannot handle. So you completely let yourself go and get even fatter, which then drives your testosterone levels even lower and lower. For men, it's absolutely paramount that you exercise until your last breath. Every single day you need to move your body. It's a finely tuned machine over hundreds of thousands, millions of years that has arrived to this point. It's like having a Ferrari but garaging it, and when you finally drive it once in a blue moon, you barely feather the pedal and then garage it right away. That's what it means to be a sedentary person. And then you're surprised your body breaks down and turns to shit. This thing's meant to be redlined, meant to be tested. It gets stronger the more you test it. The faster you run, the further you run, the more you climb, the more you lift, the heavier shit you lift, your body grows. Become sedentary, and of course this biological machine starts to atrophy. Just like doing squats or certain heavy compound exercises ups your testosterone level. Think about it, man. You're not meant to sit on your ass all day. Let's see what other bullshit they tell us. So what's a dad to do? Here we go. So we're about to get the antidote to all this. Avoiding or unraveling the dad bod takes exercise and a healthy diet choice. And before you start, it's a good idea to consult qualified professionals that look like bug sandwich eating NPCs. I always like to indicate that this is best supported by a doctor. Yeah, it takes a doctor, bro, to not stuff your mouth full of Cheetos and Diet Coke. How about you just eat a steak and eggs for breakfast and then go lift some heavy ass weights and then go climb up a mountain or hike a fucking trail once a couple of days. And we'll see how your body just magnificently changes when you eliminate sugar, processed food, milk, all that bad shit you've been consuming. And it says, make sure no essential food groups are being cut and micronutrient requirements are being met. That's a decent one. Men should also be realistic and not too hard on themselves. Oh, here comes a pat on the back, you little weak cuck. Try and make your healthiest choices and your best choices as often as you can. And at the same time, recognize you may not always be able to do that. Bruh. Weak ass. A pediatrics professor tells us this. Cool story. The most important thing is for new dads and moms to take care of themselves. I agree on that one. Yeah, because that's ultimately best for the baby too. Exactly. Which means push your limits, have a growth-oriented mindset. Always attempt new exercises, new hobbies. Always go on hikes, go out and touch some grass. Literally go out in nature. Never ever lose yourself, your identity, who you are in your relationship. Even if you're married or have kids, none of that, dude. You want your family to be the strongest and healthiest. They need you to be a strong foundational pillar, independent of them, that they can lean on. You're the support. If you crumble, they all fall. And look at this. Look how simple it is. An hour or two of strength training a week is enough to push back against the dad bod. You see that? Here's how they inject by the way, it only takes an hour or two of strength training a week. A week, bro. You don't have 1 hour in an entire week to go ham in the gym? The total body exercise. He recommends working on all the major muscles. Yeah, so compound, squats, deadlifts, presses. Okay, we know all this. Cardiovascular training, of course, boys, keep your heart healthy. Extremely important that ticker keeps ticking. Then he talks about time crunch training is high intensity training. We already know about that. Let's see what they say about nutrition, because this is like basically 90% of the work. Generally, to lose weight, you should eat approximately 500 calories less than normal per day, Keating says. The diet should focus on whole foods and improving diet quality. As with exercise, the sustainability of the diet is key for long-term weight loss success, she says. Improving your diet quality can improve your heart health, even in the absence of weight loss. That is actually true. All of that. Now, I want to see if this has some comments. Here we go. It says the dad bod appeared sometime in the last 60, 70 years. Most of us didn't used to be overweight. Something bigger than a natural test drop is at play. I wonder what it could be. Calling men's bodies dad bods feels just as gross as saying women let themselves go after having kids. And frankly, I see plenty of men without children struggling with weight issues. The only thing that's wrong with us is that our lives are filled with stress and fear. Employers and coworkers have access to us at all hours of the day and night through text and email. And ultra processed foods, we're literally bathing everywhere we go and on our screens. It's the ultra processed foods that's killing us all. You can come to Europe just like I moved. You will lose weight. I've had family that have come, lived here, eat the same breads, pastas, sandwiches, all the same stuff. Diet doesn't change, but the food quality has changed. With all the regulations the EU has, we like to shit on the EU and say it's a regulatory nightmare. At least the food regulations are good, because there's like thousands of things banned here. Chemicals and God knows what other additives to food. Completely off the shelves, unlike America. And I can tell you right now, it's a complete difference in how you feel, how much weight you gain, what you can eat. Like I was just in Italy and Sardinia, and I can tell you right now, I was eating pasta, bread, all that stuff, pizzas, and it did not affect me. I didn't feel sleepy. I didn't want to go to bed. I didn't feel that energy drop. I didn't feel like, oh God, I can't move after eating. It just felt fresh, dude, felt energized. Everybody reports the same thing that goes overseas and eats practically a similar American diet with processed foods here and there. And they're actually losing kilos of weight. For the Americans, that's like 20 pounds, 30 pounds you could be losing depending on how overweight you are. The moment you come back in America, I felt it, dude. When I came back in America to get my parents to bring them over here, the portion control is just part one of what's out of control in America. But the chemicals in the food, I felt like shit. My skin was getting red, super itchy, dry scalp, dry skin everywhere. I was being destroyed just a few days of coming back in America. I could already feel it just messing with me. It's not something that's in my head. I have a little red patch that you might see here on videos every once in a while, and that's a key indicator if I'm eating like shit. I have a little bit of a immune response to shitty food. So that's why I stay on a diet anyways, because I've gotten more sensitive as I've gotten older. But nowhere like America did food affect me where I had to go in the store and actually get organic everything, actually make sure I'm not eating the worst sugar infused, chemically laced foods you could imagine that I used to eat as a little kid, because my body just can't take it at the age I'm at right now. But in Europe, it's completely different. I could eat all that bad shit and I don't get the insane reaction that I used to get from the foods I ate in America. So yes, the food in America is killing you guys. And the food is the most important thing you're going to do in your entire life because it dictates your overall health. You can't feed that Ferrari shitty gas with water mixed in and expect it to run like a fine-tuned machine. Dude, you feed your body shit food over and over and over again for years on end. Don't be surprised it starts breaking down and you're starting to get a whole host of health issues. The machine can only take so much abuse. And this one says, I'm in my 40s with 4 kids and I have thus far avoided the dad bod. I always took the approach of if you don't use it, you lose it. And it's easier to maintain than to regain. But I will say that a brief 4-month injury hiatus from exercise made me noticeably squishier a few years back. I'm now very careful to avoid repetitive stress injury, but I think time is undefeated for a reason. This is what Kurt Schilling meant when he said that baseballers don't use steroids to get stronger. They use them to heal faster. Don't accept mediocrity, boys. Everywhere you look in the world today, mediocrity is pushed. Exceptionalism is looked down upon. Simply putting in effort is seen as you being a tryhard. I mean, the world is completely twisted on its head. All our experts are telling us to do the very things that are destroying our bodies. The last 5 or so years should have shown you as much. The politicization of science. Every industry has been captured. The corruption, the money injected into all our institutions. There's ulterior motives under every single article, research, everything you're reading, funded by someone who has something to gain. Go back to the basic. That's all I'm saying. Eat more meat. Ruminating animals with 4-chambered stomachs. They're typically the healthiest and their bodies can get rid of the pesticides on the grasses that they eat. Include some organ meats. The good old liver and onions is still a superfood. Eggs, incredible. Dairy, if you find it raw. Raw cheese, raw milk. It's very healthy for you. Goat milk, even better. A key to longevity, and I believe it's Sardinia or Icaria, Greece. They're a blue zone where people regularly live to like 100 plus years old. Always move your body, walk, take the stairs if you can, skip the elevator. This is all a compounding effect. Go every single day, even if you don't feel like going, if time allows, or get on a 3-day workout schedule where you don't have to go 3 times in an entire week. Or if you only can go once a week, then do a full body routine on your day off. Something, man, get the blood flowing and the heart pumping and feed that machine healthy food. You'll feel better. You'll look better. You'll be thinking clear. A lot of this stuff is self-imposed. It's not easy, but you don't have a choice. You can struggle to be fit or you can struggle to be fat and unhealthy. Each one is a struggle. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below and we'll see you on the next one.